afternoon. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm here. I survived Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve. Oh, we ain't got there yet, huh?
We're not there yet.
Oh, see, that's what you get for having things in the car that you're not supposed to have. Oh, hello, Kendall and Tribble. That is our wonderful cameraman and our beautiful producer, Tribble and Kendall. We're gonna speak to them. Hello to all the flamettes and loungettes and firecrackers. Y'all come on in. We got some subjects. Nicholas, unfortunately, Nicholas is not here today, but he will be returned next week. Y'all know that the travel ban is crazy, and Nicholas is in Little Rock, Arkansas. It used to be a direct flight, but since the whole pandemic, there is 8 flights to get to California. So
oh, really?
He has to change like twice at least.
Oh, no, I hate layovers.
I don't like layovers either. I don't like layovers, and I don't like to wait for what I want. When I want it, I want it. That means give it to mama or daddy, however I'm feeling on that moment, because you know I will switch up on you. But we're going to have a great time today. We're going to have a good conversation. And Nick will be joining us here live in a second. I think he's here already. Is he here?
All right. I think my headphone had the COVID.
Have you been traveling, dear?
I stayed fairly local, and it was one of those things where I was afraid to do anything that might go against what had been advised.
Yeah, the numbers are spiking. They advise people not to travel, but 8 million people traveled this Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
8 million people when they told. I'm telling you, I said this on the first Laugh and Learn. People just do not want to be told what to do.
And you know, Flame, I think it's a couple of things. I think you and I touched on this earlier, and I know Lauren has seen some of the same things. We're seeing so many of our elected leaders tell us not to travel. And then we'll see media catch video of them going through an airport, traveling to go see their loved ones. And we just saw Governor Newsom do something similar with leaders from different health communities and medical groups having a dinner for anyone who does not know, French Laundry is easily one of the best restaurants in California, Northern California, right there in Napa County. And he's sitting there, no mask. They're all in a group larger than 4 people who don't live in his home. So I think that it belies the urgency that they want us to feel. I think there are those of us who genuinely believe COVID is real. My mother believes COVID is real. Will not let me come to the house. My mother's also one of those groups that is higher at risk, older, heavier, and so it's those kind of things that put her in a higher risk category, right?
Miss Rosetta, he didn't call you fat. No, he did not publicly. He didn't say you was a big girl. Miss Rosetta, I know you. You can slap your son. I'll back you up, Miss Rosetta.
No, it's just that my mother's a bigger girl, and so she's aware of that. So how do I get back? So
exactly, because you put your foot in, and she's gonna cuss you the fuck out. She's gonna cuss you out.
And Miss Rosetta is one of those who has clicked, liked, and subscribed the podcast on either Apple or wherever you get your podcast. So she is one of those who has subscribed to Laugh and Learn. So she's going to hear this before I get a chance to clear this up. Triple help.
And is it a group? It started off that it was the elderly, then it was this group. So many people are there. And everybody seems to be catching, and so many people are dying. There is no group. They just keep pushing the narrative that black and brown because now they want us to be first to take the vaccine. I ain't taking. Understand me when I tell you publicly, I ain't taking shit. I don't want it.
So much misinformation. What do we do? And I feel like you said, people don't want to be told what to do.
That's the truth.
Yet we see these numbers climbing. And it's just some schools are going back. New York literally just reversed. Last week, the big news was, that the mayor had said, hey, Bill de Blasio had said, hey, our numbers have reached that threshold that health officials tell us is dangerous. We need to recalibrate the way we've been thinking and pull kids out of school. That sent parents in a flux because there are a lot of parents who cannot afford to work from home or don't have the ability to work from home. So they are making arrangements now to send their kids back to school. Now, come Monday, he says, guess what? We're not going to do that. We're actually going to have them come back to school. We're not going to have them stay home. It's been back and forth, and it's that inconsistency that's thrown so many parents for a loop.
Also, Rob DeSantis in Florida did the same thing. He opened up schools. And understand me, as a parent, I understand your plight. I'm sick of my kids. Hear me when I tell you, I'm sick of my children. 9 months at home with me. They're sick of me. Seriously, this is real talk as a parent. But I'm not so sick of them that I'm going to put them in harm's way to where I'm going to watch them be physically sick on my watch. The object that I was raised on from my grandmother is that your children will bury you. You do not bury your children. I don't want to bury my children. I don't have the mental capacity or the strength, or it's not in my DNA to bury my children. We survive where we have to survive, but this is a choice to me. And the choice is, I'm sick of my kids, they sick of me, but I'm not sending them to school because I don't know what will happen. They'll stay at home with me, get on my damn nerves, I'll get on their damn nerves. But guess what? On the end of this, we'll be able to get along with each other. DeSantis has never meant Florida to me any good. Ever since they robbed Gilliam from that governorship in Florida, DeSantis has been on a mission to destroy Florida, if you ask me. I don't live in Florida. I couldn't live in Florida. Y'all got too many mani-pedis. If you don't know what a mani-pedi is, join me on Love Lounge tonight. I explain it to you. It is definitely not a hand and a foot job. It is a hand and a foot job, but not that kind.
Yes, DeSantis, it will be interesting to see how he continues as governor, particularly since the administration has changed in D.C. And I think that a lot of his policies have been in place to reflect his, camaraderie with President Trump. So we'll see what happens now as the administration changes.
I don't care what my governor says, what my president says, what my school administration says. I don't care if the truant officers come to my house. The choice is mine. Let me tell you how bomb I am with my choice with my children right now. And I know I'm going to get some backlash for this from some people. I have even given my children an option of, you don't even have to do Zoom schooling every day. To me, sitting there watching them, listening to some of these, first of all, let's start about how dumb some of these real teachers are. Some of these teachers, tenure has saved their ass because some of them dumb as hell. That's one thing. Secondly, it's too much on the children. My children will turn on the Zoom and log into class and then go watching TV or playing their video games, and it's not working. And they're frustrated. We will
continue this. Absolutely. We'll continue this conversation when I'm there, because I literally just had a conversation with a few academics who talked about specifically how they don't know what to do, even with their own administrators, that as long as that child clicked in, that's counted as attendance. Mm-hmm. So they don't care if the kid is sitting or not. Many of these educators themselves have not been taught the tools for homeschooling. Mm-hmm. And what they're talking about is creative distance learning. And they're like, there's only so much they can do. It is not the same as you writing on the board and then Lauren coming in and correcting your answer or helping you work through a math problem. We cannot, even as adults, think that children are learning at the same way we did in this new environment, and it definitely deserves further discussion.
Okay, well, next week, I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to see you on December the 7th right here in this seat.
Bye.
Bye, Nick. Y'all say bye to Nick. Bye, Nick. So Nicholas brought up the whole administration, Lauren Hogan, and let's talk about this new administration, because the new administration, women...
Yes,
have
women
taken over.
Yes.
So I'm gonna let her. I think she's a biological woman. I ain't never seen her naked because some of us can fool y'all. Oh, I'm not one of them. But the new administration is the new communications administration for Joe Biden is all female.
It's all women, and it's causing an uproar. I was watching MSNBC this morning, and some Republicans are really pissed off about it. Because I guess there's one woman in particular that's made some negative comments towards some Republicans, and they are not happy about this.
Oh, they mad because this woman made a few negative public comments, but Trump can say what the fuck he want to say.
Oh, there's always a double standard.
Oh,
always.
Okay.
Always. We know that. That's just how society is.
Well, I know that Jennifer Psaki is the new the White House press secretary. So she's taking over Steve Spicer and Kaylee's job. I hope she can lie like they can, because they asses both are liars.
She is a loyalist. Is that what Trump wants his people to be? Kayleigh McEnany was definitely that for him. So
I think she got that job not just because of her lying skills. I think she got it for her laying skills. I said what the hell I said.
Well, you're not the only one that feels that way.
Who else we have? We got Simone, right? Simone made it, right?
I believe she's going to have a senior advisor position. I don't know the exact title of it, but she was always going to be, one of Biden's top advisors. So I'm happy for her.
Women, let me tell you something about the women of 2020. 2020 has not been all bad. Women have got their place and have taken over. Even, baby, look, Stacey Abrams.
Yeah. Stacey Abrams. Let's talk about
it.
It
must be something about those HBCU. I should have went to a HBCU. I should have just went to a college, not just.
Yes.
Can I go? Because you graduated from Spelman with
I
Stacey
sure
Abrams.
did.
Not with her.
Not with her, but yes, I attended Spelman as
That's
well.
all female, right?
Yes.
Could I go?
Well, you may be able to now. You know, they're changing some policies, you know, and you know, there was this whole uproar, I think, about 2 years ago about admitting trans women, and they said yes. So things are changing over there.
Let me tell you something. If I was in Spelman, ladies, and I had to go to the bathroom in a hurry, I ain't going to take the time to pull my pants down. I'm going to stand out over the toilet. You're going to see my feet facing that way and not that way. So you'll know, oh, he in here. I'm talking about me for you tradies getting an uproar. Good God.
Well, I think there's also a misconception about Spelman because it's all women. That's all you see all the time. And that could be the furthest thing from the truth because Morehouse is right there. Clark Atlanta University is right there. And together, we encompass the Atlanta University Center. So I think maybe my freshman year, first semester was the only time I never had a male in my class.
Did you have male teachers at Spelman?
I did. I was an economics major, and pretty much all of my teachers, except for 2, were men.
So Stacey Abrams graduated 95. You graduated in when?
Do you want me to really tell the year?
Yes.
Okay, I graduated in 2017.
Y'all know Lauren is young.
I'm young. Yes.
Lauren is young.
I graduated.
You think
in
I want somebody
2017.
old working with me? I can't do that. Baby, I just got everybody's age in the room. I'm the oldest bitch in the room. Double. Shit. I think that Stacey Abrams is going to be great, and you guys have to remember that this runoff is coming. Ossoff and Warnock.
Yes.
You really have to get out there,
Yes.
and you really have to make sure that you're registered and that everything, your ducks are all lined up in a row, the I's and dotted and the T's are crossed, because they're running every scam that they can to make sure that they can hold on to that Senate seat. We have to take at least 50-50 with that Senate because Mitch McConnell is not going to play with us at all.
Oh, no. And more importantly, I think that, you know, especially my millennials, I will say this, I think that they're probably disengaging a little bit from when the presidential election was because people don't understand how valuable the Senate is and how important it is, really. So I think that I think Stacey's really trying to like galvanize, you know, my age group, I would say, or my age demographic to say, please still come out and vote. It's important because it's like, oh, we got Joe Biden as a president. We're fine. And it's like, no, we're not. The House of Representatives, you know, Congress, the Senate, it's all very, very important. You know, we got to make sure that there's at least that 50-50 split.
Yes, because vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris is losing her seat as the Senate, right?
Yes, she is.
She got another job.
But that's in California. I'm less worried about that, to be honest.
I just don't want Mitch McConnell to have this much power because all the damage that he did to President Obama with all the stopping and holding back and the this and that, these earrings are getting on my damn nerves.
But more importantly, let's talk about all of the courts that he lined with all of these lifetime appointments.
With all of these, like starting with Ruth Bader again, not Ruth Bader. What's the new lady's name?
Amy Coney Barrett.
Amy Coney Barrett with the little African adopted children. I'm going to give me some foster kids. Fuck what you heard. I'm going to give me some. Do you know them checks is unbelievable? Good. Them checks is like iHeart checks. My God.
And that's the Supreme Court. But he literally went in and just lined up more of the local level courts with these lifetime appointments to, you know, keep black and brown folks behind bars.
That's partially our fault because we only want to vote on that level of presidency. We have to vote in steps in order to
at the
have
local
more
level.
control. Yeah, we have to do that. I'm telling y'all, black and brown people, y'all got to register to vote, and we got to vote lined it up. It's got to go in steps. We can't just vote for the presidency. And Biden is not going to make no drastic changes. Biden is only going to be allowed to do what Mitch McConnell, because it's going to be a fight always, if we don't get control of that or get at least 50-50 split with the Senate.
And I'm curious to see how that's going to work, because if it's 50-50, do you not have a majority leader? Do you not have a minority leader? Like, how does that work? It's just Kamala Harris's. She would obviously have to probably break all of these ties if everything's even, but what are the, you know, set appointments? What does that look like with a evenly split Senate?
I don't know, but as long as I know Kamala Harris is breaking the tie, I'm all in, boo. Because Kamala gonna roll. I'm rolling with you, Kamala girl. Call me, Kamala girl. Call me, girl. Because you know I'm Team Kamala. I was not for presidency, but I'm Team Kamala because I knew she got the chops and she ready.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I was never Team Kamala as a president, but I remember saying a year ago I could really see her in this vice president role.
Well, honey,
so I'm very, very excited for her to see what she's doing.
You must have spoken. You must
right?
have the power.
I spoken into existence.
Could you speak me being a millionaire into existence?
You
please?
will be a millionaire. Oh, I am speaking that into existence.
Ooh,
Positive vibes and energy.
Let me rub my fingers through my hair. This is envy hair.
Feather
See how
the
soft
bang.
it is? Y'all see my hair? Y'all see my hair? Don't it look ragged? Don't I look like I was one of those hillbillies? I like it though. You have to put the microphone on your head. So we were also going to talk about that we are going to have Stacey Abrams as a guest on the show here. Charlamagne set it up. So if you haven't listened to my Breakfast Club interview, it's up on audio, but I don't know if the video is up. But Charlamagne publicly said that he was going to give me Stacey Abrams. And I'm excited about that because before she lost the governorship, I didn't even know who she was.
I would agree with that, too. I wasn't as informed, I would say, about Stacey as I am now. And especially, too, she has, fair fight and fair count. There's two different, kind of, one deals with the census. The other one deals with, getting people out to vote. And actually, one of my best friends works for Fair Count, so I can say I've gotten a little more information about what she's doing behind the scenes, and I'm very big ups to her. I would say with all that she's doing for our country.
And Stacey know people,
she does.
She can pick up the phone and call Oprah at any given moment.
Stacey was on Blackish. Let's talk about it.
Was she on Blackish?
She was on Blackish.
Y'all finna hate me for this. I have never.
You've never watched Blackish?
Not one full episode, not ever.
Oh,
I know.
Do
Cancel Flame Monroe. I've never not watched
Not
Blackish.
cancel you, but you're going to have to go watch Blackish because...
You know what? I tried to watch it, maybe an older episode, and I don't know. I think I was distracted. I don't discredit that. I love Anthony Anderson. I love Jennifer Lewis, Tracy Ellis Ross, but I just never took the time to watch it.
Blackish is a really great show. It's organic. It's really it's authentic. You know what I mean? It's relatable. Just coming from a black family, you're like, yep, that happened to me. You can just relate to the scenes of the scripted series. You just can.
So I'm going to have to watch it and see if they can put me on. I could be like a school teacher or something. It could be a teachable moment.
Exactly.
Laugh and learn with Flame on Blackish.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But let's get back to Stacey.
Tranny-ish. Tranny-ish.
But let's get back to Stacey.
Yes. Stacey, when we get her on here, because when I heard about who she was and I saw her, and everything is so optics nowadays. Everything is optics. Oh, she don't look like what we think a powerful black woman should. Well, what does a powerful black woman? Oprah broke that ceiling back in the 80s with when she started on AM Chicago. See, because before she had the Oprah Winfrey Show, I was from Chicago. She had AM Chicago where she had the little short curly hair. She was a heavy-set black woman, always wore her jacket or sweaters. I don't know why big girls always do that. What you trying to have? You cannot have fat that's been there for a long time. Let me just go to a joke on this, y'all. When you already big, putting the sweater on ain't gonna hide the big. It's just gonna make you look bigger. If you don't believe me, watch the Soul Train Awards last night, because Tisha Campbell, girl, you need to knock it off. And I love me some Tisha Campbell. But that patent leather and them fur sleeves, sister, girl, if I could have came through that TV, I was coming like Martin. But she was when she speaks, her diction, and she has a encompassing, bring you in, not even like an auntie, like Auntie Maxie Waters.
Yeah.
Stacey Abrams is smart, brilliant smart. Like, you wouldn't, the way she looks, because of how we think of optics, you wouldn't think that this much information and this much smart comes out of her. But when that lady gets to speaking, it is amazing. I'm telling you, I was floored. I was like, okay, Stacey Abrams.
I mean, for the simple fact that she was able to register 800,000 voters in Georgia and turn Georgia blue, I think that speaks to her level of intelligence. Just a little bit, Georgia, we're going to need y'all one more time to come on out, because you know how we do as black people. I already did that. I ain't doing it again. Exactly.
We need you to do it again. I'm telling you, the importance of us getting half of this Senate, so we have control, because Mitch McConnell is out for blood, and they say he racist, he don't like black people, but I ain't gonna have to believe that in a minute, because that fool hands is damn near black. Have you seen his hands? Yeah, his hands is black, so I don't know if he got a little black in him or a little black
online. They were like, "What's wrong with Mitch McConnell?"
Mitch McConnell, God done punish you. That God about to turn you black, nigga. I'm just saying, you about to be a brother. You ain't gonna be Mitch. You gonna be Michael and them. Tell him to call me. I ain't scared of him.
Goodness.
Oh my God, we live in some strange times, ladies and gentlemen. We are living in some very strange times. Tomorrow is December the 1st, and December the 1st is World AIDS Day.
Yes, it is.
And I know that everyone thinks that the coronavirus is the most important pandemic, and it is very challenging right now. But we have been in an AIDS crisis pandemic since, 81?
Yeah, really.
Seriously. And it's still here because it's not spoken about, and because they have found medication to keep people living longer and healthier and woo-woo-woo. It is still very prevalent, still very here, still killing folks left and right. And Lauren Hogan is what do you work? You work in communications at
I do.
AHF.
I'm a communications manager.
AHF is AIDS Healthcare Foundation. This is how I met Lauren, through AIDS Healthcare Foundation. So tomorrow is World AIDS Day, and I think that Lauren should really come at y'all right now and explain to y'all the importance of knowing your status, getting tested, protecting yourself, or however you do, because I ain't gonna tell y'all how I do. 'Cause, oh my God.
Yeah, so tomorrow's World AIDS Day, and it's really a time for us to reflect and just honor those that have, passed away from the virus, or even those that are suffering from the, the virus, and just understanding how prevalent it still is to this day. 700,000 people died last year, according to the CDC, from HIV and AIDS. So it's important to know your status. And, there's a lot of stigma associated, especially in our communities of color, which shouldn't be the case. We need to destigmatize and just understand health is wealth and knowledge is power. Educate yourselves. There's nothing wrong with it. Go out and get tested. You can go to freehivtest.net to find a local, resource that's near you, so that way you can go out and get tested. And more importantly, just know your status. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with educating yourselves. So World AIDS Day, reflect. If you know somebody that's, that you've lost to the disease, honor them by going out and getting tested, is really what I have to say. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, honor them by going out and getting tested, and just because you may test positive, it's not a death sentence. Medicine has come a long way, and there's ways it's treatable now. It's not a death sentence. So just get out and know your status.
And you get your results back immediately now, quickly. Because in 92, Lauren, I took my first HIV test in 92. And I had to wait like 2 weeks. When I tell you I was a nervous bitch, I was biting nails, wood, everything. I was terrified because, and it came back negative. Thank God for Jesus.
Right.
But that was the first time I ever got, and it was so new because when we heard about AIDS, we heard that it was a white man's disease.
A gay white man's
disease, and you can only catch it if you frequent bookstores. Now, I ain't never been a bookstore bitch. I ain't got caught in a couple of alleys. Let me just be real. But I've never been a bookstore queen. But then so many of my black trans sisters and gay men that I knew, black gay men, started dying from AIDS and getting sick and dying in like 2 weeks and 3 weeks. I remember going to 5 funerals in a week back in 89. So this was like, oh my God. So it just scared the hell out of all of us because we knew that it was not a gay white man's disease. And what AHF is good about, they have so many programs. They help so many people.
Yes.
People just think that they only help gay men, but they really do help women and children and everybody and homeless.
And if we're going to talk about it, HIV and AIDS actually affects black women the most today. Isn't that something?
That is something.
Isn't that something?
That is something.
It went from being a gay white men's disease to affecting black women.
Well, here's the hypocrisy of that. And I'm going to tell y'all a story. Let me tell y'all a story, y'all. So in 91, I went to prison. I went to prison in 91 to a men's penitentiary. I did. I told that story before, so it's the truth. Y'all know I ain't lying. And I was only in there for 48 days. I was supposed to do a year, but baby, they didn't have a place for me. I incited 3 riots. I was young, 6, red hair. I was a monster. I was a nightmare. I was a damn piece. They kicked me out. But what I saw in those 48 days while I was in there was so much sex happening. So I would see women come to visit their husbands or boyfriends in prison because my family and friends would come and visit me. So I'm in the room watching and they kissing and, back then this was 90s. You could hug, you could actually touch or what have you. And then the women would get the men all worked up and they would have to come back to the dorms where we were and there were no women there. So they wanted affection. They were already charged up. And, when the little head get charged up, it charge up the big head. And then the big head don't think because the little head takes control. And so I said back in 91, why don't you guys pass out condoms in jail? Because it's not like... And so the warden told me, when he told me he's kicking me out, I said, why y'all not passing out condoms? They are having sex. He said that it promotes sex. I'm like, well, they fucking anyway.
Exactly. So,
and here was the hypocrisy. So the men in there were messing around with other men, and they would always say while they were in prison, I'm in a situation. I'm doing this because this is what I have to. But on the outside world, I wouldn't do this. I got a wife, I got a family, I got kids. But you don't think about that when you're in that moment, and then you take that home to your wife and your children or your girlfriend. So it just kept...
And there's a transmission.
It is. And it just kept spreading. And I'm telling you, and I asked, why y'all not passing out condoms? But we were ingenious. They would use the rubber gloves, and put a rubber band on the tip. It didn't the penis didn't work after about like 2 minutes. I'm just saying. But it's crazy. Yeah. But if I went to jail now, they have a whole wing of trans girls. But when I was fortunate enough to go at that time and never get in trouble again because I wouldn't even want to go to jail now. But COVID, HIV, oh my God.
But to your point, though, understanding the need for having access to care in these prisons, AHF is located in 46 countries globally, 16 states domestically, including DC, but also in Puerto Rico. But I actually had the opportunity to go to our clinic that we have in Haiti. And it is it's quite an experience. You know, I'm not an emotional person, I would say, by any standards, but I cried the day that I went, because we actually have a clinic inside one of the prisons in Haiti. In Haiti, they have a different rule than what's here in the United States, whereas, you know, you're innocent until proven guilty. Well, there, you're guilty until proven innocent. So there's people in this jail that are very well innocent, but they're, you know, going to end up serving life before they get, if there's nothing there to prove that they were innocent, that you're serving a sentence, bottom line. And in most of these cells, there's supposed to be 8 to 10 people there. There's 80 people to a cell. So walking 80 people to a cell. So walking in, I saw arms and legs sticking out of these, you know, just prison cells, and you look up and you just see all of these different limbs. It was the most depressing thing I've ever experienced.
80 men in a cell?
80 men.
I wouldn't get no sleep. My God.
No.
I wouldn't get no sleep. Oh, my God.
The conversation shifted.
Let me fix my hair.
But I'm saying all that to say, though, you know, when you go in and you're getting processed, because we have a clinic there, we're able to offer HIV tests. And it's not required. You don't have to get a test. But 90% of the population, they want to get tested.
You know what hurt me the most? I had a girlfriend. She died from years ago. She had a baby. I went to visit her and the baby in the hospital. She died. The baby was born HIV positive too. But what they did was they gave the baby medication. So the baby is fine now. But the baby was in the ward with so many other babies, all HIV positive. If you have never seen that or experienced that firsthand, that will shake you. That shook me to the bone. Lord. I'm not a crybaby either. My emotion is like, child, I don't
Right,
care.
exactly.
But when I saw these innocent babies, and
it's a humbling experience, to say the least.
I don't know if I cried, but I'm telling you, something in my DNA broke.
Yeah.
It cracked.
It,
like, wow.
It makes you thankful, one, that you have your health, but also, two, that you're not having to deal with all of these unfortunate circumstances of life.
And
it makes you so grateful.
I'm such a whore. Good God. When I was young, I was such a thought, y'all. I'm not going to even lie. Ain't much change. I just got older. But it is scary. So we're going to remember World AIDS. And I know people let off the red balloons and woo-woo-woo.
Yeah.
And I just want to personally thank Michael Weinstein and everybody at AHF, because Michael Weinstein is the CEO of AIDS Healthcare Foundation.
The visionary of AHF,
And he has done so much, even now with the homeless, because aren't they doing something with the homeless
We do.
now?
We have another sector now called the Healthy Housing Foundation, and our CEO literally said there is a homeless epidemic going on, especially in California, Los Angeles. We've got to do something. He started buying up buildings, old hotels. You know, we've got, I believe, 10 units now, and we're just housing the unhoused. We're providing affordable housing to people to get them off the streets, you know.
Ask him, he bought the new house that I'm renting. I just pay him like a Mark. He loves me anyway. Michael Weinstein, if you're watching, I love you. I always wanted to be a Jewish woman named Joan Goldman. I want to change my name to Joan Goldman.
That's what you are in your neighborhood now, right?
I am. My name is Joan. Everybody thinks I'm a Jewish woman. I don't know what the new white folks gonna think, because you know I'm moving to another white neighborhood. I don't know what they gonna think. But wait till they get a load of me. I would be like the Joker. Wait till they get a load. No, they. Let me tell you how I got this house. Oh my God, I'm telling y'all some secrets y'all ain't supposed to know. You know the climate that we live in. You know the racism that we live in. They passed on me on this house about 2 months ago. They said that I couldn't show my monetary status on paper, but they came back to me last Thursday because I don't know what happened. I didn't even ask. When she came back,
Karma.
Well, whatever the case may be. So when I went to look at the house on Saturday and took her the money and the deposit and everything, I hit her with a double white. Not a double wide. I hit her with a double white. I took my white babysitter and I took my white real estate agent, because I hit her white ass with a double white. Because, you know, when white folks see you with other white folks,
they feel better.
They feel like, oh, you know somebody. Oh, you're okay. But if you take two of them, oh, they don't know how to handle it. Oh, she couldn't wait to give me that lease. Oh, I hope she's not watching this. I don't want her to know I set her ass up. It worked.
It
worked. And Michael Weinstein, back to you. The importance of it, because like I've said before, I've never trusted Fauci since the whole AZT epidemic back in the 80s. And now he is always, that smile, something about his grin rubs me the wrong way. I just don't trust it. And I'm telling you, I'm a pretty good judge of character, especially men. Women too, but they look like men. That's called a trans man. Anywho, I have to explain to my listeners, but I just think that Michael has helped so many people with benefits and with research and with medication, cause the new medication is like the Matrix. You take the red pill, you die. You take the blue pill, you live forever. Baby, definitely. The blue pill is a lifesaver.
Yeah, definitely.
Woo!
Yeah,
we want y'all to weigh in, y'all. Who weighing in? Who's weighing?
Hi, Vesper.
That's my white chocolate. That's my resident white boy. Vesper, you're in Georgia, and you're a huge advocate for Warnoff and Ossoff. So tell us how important that is.
Yes.
It's so important because the two candidates that they're running up against were caught insider trading, not once, but twice. So, I mean, that right there should be enough. There really isn't anything else to talk about because their policy is no policy at all. They're basically railing against the other candidates, saying that they're going to bring in socialism. Meanwhile, they're profiting off of this pandemic and repeatedly profiting off of this pandemic, not once, but twice, and making millions. So we need to vote for the voice of reason. Like, I don't care what these two candidates, I'm an independent. So it doesn't matter to me about the party. What matters to me is about the policy. And when people, Maya Angelou once said, when people show you who they are, believe them. And these two candidates that are running is a pastor, Jewish man who studied and was a mentor of John Lewis. So if you just look at the past of all of these candidates, all four of them, the two that are in the incumbents and the two that are running, which is Ossoff and Warnock, you can tell by the lives that they led what kind of people they really are. You know, we need to stop voting for people that say the things that we want them to say. And we need to start looking at their content of their character, because that's what matters more, you know, because it doesn't matter if they agree with you on policy or not. If they're a good person, they're going to do good things. We saw what 4 years of having an evil, mean-spirited person in a high position of power can do to this country.
Well, what's your biggest concern? I'm curious because you're there. You know, what are you seeing as your biggest concern in terms of the Senate race that's coming up? Are people going to come out and vote like they did for Joe Biden? Is Georgia, going to go blue again? What do you think?
I think that's honestly what you just hit on is the biggest concern for me, because there's a lot of young people that are not going to go out and vote like they did because they don't want to go out and vote twice. There's also the mail-in ballot situation, because there's a lot of people that got mail-in ballots like myself. So that's a plus. You know, there's a lot of pros and cons. There's also what's interesting is Loeffler, who is the one that was appointed, never elected by Kemp. She was appointed by Kemp. Her husband is the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange. She has made millions off of the COVID knowledge that she got on the COVID briefings. And it's a special election. So there was no primary. It was just a long list of candidates. With her at the top because she was the incumbent, and Warnock still got close to 50%. The other candidate that she was she was the top three. The other candidate was Doug Collins, who was Trump's pick. He got less votes than her. And now all of his people are talking about, the election is rigged, which there is no evidence of. So they're talking about boycotting. So they might not even vote. And that's the votes that he, so he might get that 50% if Doug Collins people don't vote. So, my biggest concern is the amount of people that are voting. We need to get everybody out to vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for. We know now this election has proven that when people come out and vote, we do have the numbers. We just got to get everyone out to vote.
And that's why, too, there's also John Ossoff in Purdue. We need to make sure that, Purdue gets out of there as well. So there's those two special elections in Georgia.
Senator Perdue got caught insider trading again this past week.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Black folks, I need y'all to get up and go vote. I need y'all to get Popeyes, give away some free chicken sandwiches. They has to make it to the polls on voting day. Give their ass a free chicken sandwich. Y'all went crazy over the Popeyes chickens. I had one. It wasn't even all that.
You know what though? Did you see the booty to the pole video that the
I
strippers did?
I love that.
That's what they need to do again.
Well,
get your booty to the pole,
because that was very by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to get us excited, to get us and riled up to do it, I'll take it. Baby,
galvanize the strippers.
Baby, put
Whatever
me
it
on a
takes.
pole.
What
Magic City, where you at?
We say by any means necessary. That's the type of attitude
Yep.
And that is my attitude. And I'm telling you, Malcolm X said that, but we did not adopt that philosophy. To me, Trump did. Mm-hmm. But we did on this one because we won. Because we took it but he still got 70 million votes.
A little more than that. I think the number is like 73 million.
Baby, we got some
racist
people in this country. But I tell y'all what, you can come across this racist if you want to, because this wig come off, and I don't look like this with this wig off. I love you, DJ Vesper.
I love
Thank
you
you
too.
for all
Thank
the
you for
wonderful
having me
information.
Thank you. Have a great day.
That's my white child. Don't Vesper look like what's the guy's name? Remember he stabbed his mama in the shower? What was the movie? It was a movie.
Oh, you talking about Psycho?
Psycho. Don't Vesper look like the man from
Norman
Psycho?
Bates? No.
Norman Bates, baby. That's my Psycho. You need to meet TT Jan.
Okay.
That's TT Jan. That's my baby right there. Oh, you
Hi.
sound so good. Clear.
And Lauren, you're doing wonderful being Flame's third hand, I'll tell you. And you were already going to get a vote for me because you're a stinky pinky. Hello, darling.
Thank you.
Job well done.
What is a stinky pinky?
She is a soror. She is a soror.
Hey, soror, I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I am a proud member.
Yes.
So hey,
hello,
soror.
and job well done professionally and a personal choice of being one of my sorors.
TT Jan, before you start talking, can I say what I thought a stinky pinky was?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
Help me.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to do it.
That might need to be a one-on-one.
A private conversation.
But I'm happy to meet, and this is not being demeaning in any way. A lot of my younger sorors, and sometimes they don't know how to approach me because of the situation we're meeting in, and I'm introduced to speak to them. And I say, you've not really crossed until I hug you, and I get to call you a stinky pinky. So that's a term of endearment. Nothing to diminish any of your accolades.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
I just want to be a stinky pinky. I don't know if I want to be a soror, but damn, I want to have a stinky pinky.
We got honorary members. Can she be an honorary one?
She could. She could. Many desire, but only a few are chosen. And me and you will vote her in. So that's okay.
Yes.
So Jan, let me ask you a question, because we were talking about the communications of his whole cabinet is now all female. How you feel about that, Jan?
I applaud him. You couldn't go wrong with Simone at all. She came from the Bernie camp, and now she's going to be a senior advisor as well as one of the communications persons for our soror, Kamala Harris. And so, you know what? All efforts taken are grand. We just have to heal. And I think that's what he's doing. Even him offering McCain's wife to be an ambassador to the UK. You know what? I'm just in a good place, a good headspace with all of this. Parties have never been a dividing factor for me at all in my circles of friends that I move in. But we just need to get to a place of healing, and he's doing that. So I think the people who have mind fog or who have just the whole platform of hate to fight on, for them, they're going to be on an island by themselves. So I am in a good space. I'm happy about this. And just recently, there have been so many indigenous people who are making their history known on social media. So I'm happy about that. I like to see some appointments coming, because we're going to have to understand how to bridge all our communities together. It's only one earth. Thank God we aren't all alike. And I embrace people for their difference. I'm not afraid to embrace any of my Divine Nine or my non-Greek friends. Religion has never stopped me. Party association or affiliation has never stopped me. And that's what we need to see a reflection of that at a higher level. Because good management starts at the top and it trickles down.
Well, we didn't have that for 4 years. We damn sure didn't have no good
we
management.
didn't. Not at all.
And I'm glad we all not the same. Could you imagine two of me? Good God.
More so, what would we have to talk about if we were all the same?
Right? How
There
boring
would be
that
no
be?
room to learn, that's for sure.
And what is
Yeah.
my famous line, TT Jan? Can't know what?
Can't no bitch do what I do.
Can't not no bitch do what I do. So understand that you need to know that for everyone.
Right.
That's how you should feel
Oh,
about
I got it.
yourself.
Yeah.
You ain't got to use the bitch word. I'm talking to the
Right.
men too. Baby, can't nobody do what you do. You are a unique
Yes.
individual. It's
Yes.
only you. And if I see another bitch that look like me or act like me, I'm punching her ass on sight. Where that bitch at? Where's she at? I'm punching the shit out of her. Jan, I love that this administration, Biden has chosen so many women. This 2020 might have been the year of the COVID, but it has been the year of the woman.
Yeah.
Mostly the black and brown women.
But they say flame behind brush fires or when land is burnt down to nothing, the new land that comes behind it is greener, more prosperous. So he took us down a black hole. I didn't scream defeat like you and many of others, and we're coming into a new day. Now, we've seen how ugly this is, and everybody, our generation X's, I think, or Z's, and our millenniums, I think millenniums do understand you have to build an infrastructure. That's what Stacey did. She got busy. So not voting on a local level will not do anything. That's where your power, you see it. That's where you feel it immediately. So that has also been something that black and brown people now know. But now that you know better, you got to do better. We have to keep pushing what we want. I mean, I'm loving seeing the embrace. I'm loving learning that Indians don't want to be called Indians because when the rapist came over, he thought he was in India. Folks need to know that. They are indigenous people.
The rapist would be Christopher Columbus.
Yes. So, I'm enjoying the exchange of information because when you know better, you do better. And when you know better, even though you don't act on it, it still haunts you until you get your butt in gear and do better.
Let me give you a prime example of knowing better and doing better. When I first went to look at that house, I went by myself. When I went back, I took the two white folks. I got the house. I knew better. I did better. I got the house, goddamn.
But she called you.
She had looked at They Ready, though. She told me. She said, I watched your stand-up. Let me tell you something. Thank you, Tiffany Haddish, because, baby, has she not, because I didn't go dressed up. I went with my Love Lounge look, with my hat on and my glasses. So she was like, who is this old queen here? She still ain't, well, she saw me now. So I think, and she's a lesbian. So I think that,
she might take a liking to you.
I might get a couple of months rent free.
That's all the better. That's all the better. But the house was yours because you asked for it, you stood in faith, and you received it. It's something about the power of faith. And so she didn't have a choice.
Well, me and JC, TTJ, me and JC got our thing. Me and that nigga cool as a fan. I'm his nigga. I am God's nigga, and he is mine. And if anybody, I got a lady inbox me say, "Oh, that was so offensive, honey. You praise your God the way you want to. I'm gonna praise mine. I want to because me and him had a talk this morning on the way.
Yes, and however you send up yours, that's between you and your God. I'm not letting nobody talk me out of nothing. I know. So
we love you, TT Jan. Thank you for joining us.
Nice to meet you.
TT Jan just all right.
Yes, ski-wee.
Look, since I'm honorary. Look, so TT Jan just said that she was her son's horse. So the big uproar this weekend was that Kevin Hart's Zero Fucks Given special came out on Netflix.
I watched it.
And he said that his daughter was having whore tendencies or something. He didn't call his daughter a fucking whore. He said that she was having whore tendencies. And people have been in an uproar about that. I didn't take that like that. I know that Kevin is a comedian. The horrible shit I've said about my daughters and my son, on stage as a joke. It's truth up under it, but they're my children. So I'm allowed to say that because we live together. Y'all need to really corral your feelings because Kevin
it's a double standard though.
It is.
Because he did call his son a hoe, if we're going to talk about it. He did. He called his son a hoe and didn't call his daughter that, but that's what everybody's focusing on. At least that's what I took from it. So I mean,
wish I could call my son a hoe. My son ain't that. My son is a good boy. He ain't no. He
okay.
a good boy.
That's okay.
He ain't nothing like his daddy. Or mama, depending on what time of the day it is. I'm an equal opportunity girl. Who we talking to, Lauren Hogan? Who we talking to?
Hey.
Well, hello. Hi, Hannah.
Hi, how are you? Your favorite essential
Hi,
worker?
Hannah.
So let me explain who Hannah. So Hannah is down there. She was on the front line. She's an essential worker. And when they were out, stories that we didn't hear on the news, that she was there when they were passing out waters at the polls. She was there when they were giving people chairs and assisting. The stories that don't make the news.
Yeah.
Hannah informed us about that. So tell us, Hannah, about that. What we going to do for this next go-round? What we giving away?
My thing is this right here. Everybody that has relatives who have moved from blue states to Georgia, we need to get them to vote. In the past 2 weeks, I have come in contact with so many people that are living good because they have transferred to Georgia or Atlanta, and they're not voting. We need for the people who are not from here, we need for you guys to vote. It's very sad. And it's a lot of men that I've come in contact that are not taking advantage.
They just don't want to do it?
Because of the conspiracy theories that they have. And a lot of people, I just feel it's a lot of hurt. But they have to understand, if you come from a blue state, it was two individuals that was from New Jersey, and it's a blue state. Come on, we need your help. Turn us blue. We need your help. Turn us blue. It's very hard, but when it comes down to the voting in Atlanta or in Georgia, I'm a native of the city of Atlanta, and I'm a generational Georgian. I'll say it like that. And when I went to vote, or my years as a registered voter, they've always, in the city, have galvanized and made sure people had rides to the poll, that certain individuals within the school system that knew that certain students will turn 18 by the time the primaries or the major votes
elections came up, yeah.
Yes, they would make sure that we was registered. I was registered at 17 at the school cafeteria. So, and at the same alma mater as Keisha Lance Bottoms and also Killer Mike. So, that's what we have been doing. The only thing is most people don't get our story out. The only thing that people want to know about Atlanta is the silly thing about somebody throwing a party this weekend and all these people are coming to Atlanta. I need for everybody, your relatives who are not voting, please, if they're in Georgia and if you like to come down and have a good time, make sure they're registered to vote and make sure they go and take advantage of voting. It's very important.
Absolutely.
I'm coming to vote. I'm coming to vote in about 5 names. I got about 6 or 7 ideas.
Flame, you can't do that. And you can't tell people you're doing that.
That was a joke, but they cheated. I'm just saying. What is the date for them to vote? Is it December the 5th, right?
Okay, the early voting starts December the 14th.
The 14th.
And then there's actually a runoff going on right now. We still need someone to fill the seat. The last part of John Lewis' term right now. Most people are not talking about that. They're just talking about Nikema Williams when she ran for the seat for 21, for the term 21 and beyond. But right now, we're still deciding who will finish John Lewis' term for the year 2020. So that's the big major concern right now is getting people out. But
what are the dates for the Senate runoff, too, though? You said December 14th, and then the actual election day is January 5th, correct?
Correct. The ballots are going out. I just received a text. If you're in a database, trust me, we have been inundated with so much information.
I've gotten texts. I don't even live in Georgia.
So it's been about 700,000 ballots that have gone out so far for the runoff election for Warnoff and Ossoff. So I'm one of those that like to actually go to the polls. So once the 14th roll around, I would most definitely be there with bells on.
I like to go to the polls too.
I did too.
Yeah, I like to go to the polls. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. I felt whole. Special. I felt complete. And I felt like I knew that my ballot was in. Now, what they did after I dropped it off, but I felt like I did my part.
Well, even with the mail and everything that was happening, I was like, let me just get my butt up and go to the poll really quickly. I did a pre-ballot, so I made all my selections, and I went and took my ballot to the poll to make sure it was counted in time.
Yeah, you touched on the point that's going to, I'm finna ruffle some feathers here. Let me just say what I got to say. As a black, because you know I'm an equal opportunity bitch over here. I'm a male and a female. This is he, she, we. He cash a check, she make the money, we spend it. One person right here. Me, you said black men are one vote. Let me tell you how intimidated and how shallow black men's egos are. And I'm saying this from a black man's perspective because I'm still a black man up under this pretty wig and these titties. Especially with all these females being appointed to all these different positions by Biden, men will feel very slighted.
Yes.
And not just black men, but men, period, will feel very slighted because they have always believed that these are the positions that only men can have and dominate. Right. All these women are getting all these opportunities of position, and don't let them do a great job because they're going to do great jobs.
Right.
It's going to really cause a division. I believe that because I know how men think. Because I think like a man. Before I got in drag, I was a man. As soon as the show is over, I'm going back to him. She's just here for right now.
And it's interesting you say that too, because we all know that it's really black women that get people elected. If we're going to talk about it, So it's unfortunate that you say that all these men are going to be upset, but it's us black women that have been getting them elected. So why can't we have our opportunity too is the real question. So it's interesting you say that, Flame.
Well, I'm telling you, as a black man and you know live my life as a would work as a woman, what have you, I know that feeling, and I know how men will feel intimidated. They will feel like women, you know, they still have that same old adage from the 70s or even before then. Women only have two places in the home. And they don't want them to work. The kitchen and the bed. That's been gone since good times. James left that. Florida said, baby, I got a job. Shit. Hannah, thank you for joining us, my beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
You're very informative. Y'all make sure y'all follow Hannah's Catch Me Out. Thank you, Hannah.
Bye, y'all.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to get my ass handed to me about that comment, though, but that's the truth, Lauren. And you work with men. And what's messed up about what I just said, it's not even just heterosexual men. It's gay men even that are intimidated by the presence of a woman. And it has nothing to do with whether they're straight or black or gay or what have. They are just intimidated when there is a powerful woman in a position that they think that they should have.
I will say this. I 100% agree with you.
Oh,
that's all
that
I'm
was
say.
Coming from a real woman, y'all.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, my God. This has been an interesting conversation, Lauren Hogan.
You know, one thing that I think that we should bring home we didn't really touch on was the importance overall of HBCUs. Yes. I think that's a great topic to bring this conversation home.
And they used to get a bad rap because it was a black college and woo. But then didn't Trump run some kind of scam and say that he donated so much certain money to HBCUs a few years ago? He ain't did shit. That was a script like everything else was.
Exactly.
But HBCUs have proven themselves in the long term because look at all the powerful people that are coming out of HBCUs. And not just women, men as well. It's a phenomenon. Everybody's going to want to go to a HBCU.
Oh, they do now. And I mean, that's starting all of this, extra stuff that's happening. But I can just say, and I'm very biased and I have no shame about it. As a graduate of Spelman, there is just no place like Spelman. I have said I encourage everybody, if you can, if it's a Spelman, if it's a Fisk, Florida A&M, Tuskegee, if you can go to an HBCU, I encourage you to go to an HBCU because from my experience, being in school in California and learning about history and who really shaped our history and then going to Spelman and having to take a class like African Diaspora of the World, which is a requirement, and learning about your history and where slaves came from and how they navigated and just the influential figures in civil rights, it's a totally different understanding of who really shaped this country. So if you can go to an HBCU and you can have that experience, there's nothing like black excellence, black culture, and black education. I'm an advocate. I encourage you to go to an HBCU.
And she's my manager, so guess what?
Right, I did something right.
She was smart, because baby, if she would have been a dumb girl, I would have been like, girl, I can't fuck with you like that. Let me tell you something about them HBCUs. What what you just said about the Black history, because we live in Belmont Shores in Long Beach, and there is no Black history being taught to my children. They learn it from me.
Yeah.
They might not learn it the textbook way, but they learn it from me. And I think that is part of the problem why they want these kids to get back in school, because it's such a colonized education system that they want you to teach what they want you to learn what they want to teach, not everything. A lot of these kids, Black and brown, are learning so much more about their history at home with their parents, because we spending all day with each other. So they see how we talk, they see how we think, they see how we watch the news and talk back to the TV. Because I talk back to the TV when it's something ridiculous. I'm like, oh my God, that's not who we are as a people. So I think that is very important to know, because they don't teach Black history in the schools that we go to.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. You know, it wasn't, I took a trip with my parents to Atlanta once, and I actually ran into Andrew Young in a restaurant, and I didn't know who he was when I was younger. And my parents were like, oh my God, we failed you. And that's when it was like, okay, we need to really reinforce what this Black history was. Yeah. And so by the time I got to Spelman, I was so elated to learn all of these different things. Because you get it at home, but to get that firsthand education, it's just something different.
Well, Lauren, you knew about Black history a lot anyway, because you studied up under Debbie Allen for years. Debbie Allen is like your godmother.
I did. She is. She's a huge mentor of mine, and I owe a lot to her, too.
She's super duper Black.
Oh, we had to take tests. Let's talk about it. If you wanted to dance in a production like musical theater, we had to take tests about those Black dancers that helped shape Broadway.
Debbie, I would have never danced. First of all, I can't kick, and I was not going to take no study for no test. I ain't think about you, Miss Debbie, you, Leroy, none of them. But no,
she doesn't play.
No, at all.
She does not play.
I met her once, but I wasn't in drag, so she wouldn't recognize me. She probably thought I was the old man living up the street.
She has a new documentary out on Netflix called Dance Dreams, and it kind of gives you an insight to Hot Chocolate Nutcracker and all that she did. I did the show the first 3 years, and you know it's been going on for 10 years, but get an insight to her. Go watch it on Netflix, you'll see.
And if you don't know about all the HBCUs, they have grants, they have don't get caught up in the student loans if you don't have to. Even though Joe Biden is really trying to make change with the student loans, he really is trying to make change with loans, but don't get caught up in that if you don't have. Baby, they got all kind of loans. They got one for the first redhead in the family, for the old. They got loans that y'all don't know nothing about because y'all haven't researched to find out. Because if I ever went to college, I was going to apply as a redhead. I got a red wig at the house. I was going to apply as a red. It's not a loan. It is an actual grant. They're giving you money. They have money there to give away, but it's not going to jump out at you. You have to search, find, do some research. Yeah. Talk to other people. Talking to other people will get you so informed to know things that you just won't know, because people don't know everything. And I ask questions all the time. There is no dumb question. Now, there's a dumb way to ask a question, but there is no dumb question. And if you ask me a question dumb, like I tell you all the time, if you come at me sideways, I'm going to straighten your ass up, because that's who I am as Flame Monroe. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys so much for joining us here today. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about when we talk about HBCUs, because Tribble, who's our producer here, was telling me about there was a trans man at Spelman, right?
Morehouse.
No, Morehouse.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know that they have a trans. Yeah. So the trans community.
There's a trans woman at Spelman too.
There's a trans woman at Spelman.
Yeah.
Now we have a trans man at Morehouse. I'm thinking about going to Morehouse. Am I too old to be a student? You know, I like a trans man. Ooh, wait till we get in that locker room and change. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here at Laugh and Learn with Flame Monroe and Nick Smith. Nick Smith will be rejoining us here in the studio next Sunday. I just want you guys to give my manager, my friend, my baby, because she's 25. She could be my baby for real. Just a wonderful love and flowers and roses and hearts, because Lauren Hogan, you have really outdone yourself.
Thank you for
Can
letting
y'all
me be
believe
here.
that she was
Thank
nervous?
You for letting me. I've never done this before. You know, you asked me, I said yes, I'm always open, but thank you for allowing me to be here.
Now, you hear how many jokes is in there? I've never done this before. I'm open. Baby, somebody just told me that 2 days ago. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Laugh and Learn with Flame Monroe. I will see you all. You can follow me on at Monroe Flame on Instagram, at Flame_Monroe on Twitter. YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, mine, as well as Nick Smith News, so you can see the podcast when it comes out on Thursday, the visual. And on Facebook, I'm Marcus Flame Monroe Parker, and Lauren Hogan is...
I am Lauren Armani H on Instagram. You can follow me there and see all the updates I do with Flame.
And if you have any questions about AHF or the AIDS, because tomorrow is World AIDS Day, Lauren works for AHF for years. She is so informed.
Yes.
So informed. DM her to find out any information that you didn't get here now. Even if you want to know about testing.
And you know what you could do? You can go to AIDS Healthcare on Instagram, and it's also AIDS Healthcare on Twitter. And you can send DMs to our amazing social media manager. She will provide you millions of resources that you can use, or you can DM me and I can direct you guys to her.
And y'all make sure y'all tell Michael Weinstein that I sent y'all so my checks can be bigger. I love you, Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here at Laugh and Learn today. Thank you, Tribble. Thank you, Kendall. We have had a great show. Amazing.
Yes,
See you
thank
guys
you.
next week. Thank you. Peace.